Alright, this is game 2 in the best of 50 between me and my friends, also known as the Lawds, versus this guy and his friends. Our team names change, or at least their name changes every couple of games, so I don't really know what to call us. And our rosters change pretty often. But, so yeah, this is game 2. We're doing a best of 50, or first to 26, whichever, and I'll explain why I'm not casting game 1 when I've got a minute, so I can show you, what happened in it and stuff like that. But yeah, okay, so we'll get on here. Let's see, we're on Dire this side. Actually, we're on Radiant. Excuse me, I always get those two mixed up because bottom side is black. I don't know why we played Radiant twice in a row, but this was a couple weeks ago. So the draft has actually, like the metagame has actually shifted a lot in this couple of weeks, particularly heroes like Elder Titan, which and Crystal Maiden, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So we banned, so far in the first round of bans, we've banned OD, Owl Devourer, and Abaddon, and they banned Bat Rider and Weaver. Pretty standard. Weaver's a little less standard to be in the first round of bans, but not really. Usually you see something like a Wisp there. Or nowadays you see the Elder Titan. So I'll just refer to the teams as us and them, or Tony and friends, or whatever. So they picked up Elder Titan first round, which is a great pick. We didn't respect him nearly as much back then, but we did know that he was very strong. Elder Titan's just a great hero. He can go mid, support, off lane. He can carry if he gets fed. If he doesn't get fed, he still provides a huge amount of utility. He's just a ridiculously good hero. And he's got range, he can poke, he can do melee attacks, he's got magic image, physical damage, he's got everything. So we pick up the Nakes, just because he's a pretty easy thing to first pick, he's pretty solid. And probably something to combo with him. Nakes is also pretty good against Elder Titan, because he reduces your armor and magic immunity, but Nakes can rage, so he doesn't get nuked nearly as hard as some other heroes that would be in melee contact with Elder Titan. And, even though Elder Titan does do a lot of right-clicking damage with this buff from Astral Spirit, does that buff actually have a name?
5 seconds remaining.
No. But, who can stand up to Lifestealer later in the game? And we picked up a Puck. The Puck is our mid, it's just a safe pick. Not a lot of heroes can beat Puck mid, especially if the Puck is played well. And she can go off lane if you really need to. But it's just a good Nakes bomb hero too. We like picking combos, so we picked the hero for Nakes or Lifesteal, excuse me, to jump into. I'm trying to find out if Puck is male or female based off of these. I always forget. Reading the flavor text, but I can't really tell. So they picked a Bane. I don't really like this, but they picked it obviously as a counter to Lifestealer. I guess they were really afraid of it getting banned out. Maybe they've got a particularly good Bane player on their team. But he's not like the greatest hero. He's good when there's a Lifesteal on the other team, but he's kind of bad otherwise. But he's still not amazing. You want to spend your first round picks on something much better than that. So now we're into bans. They banned out the Visage. That makes perfect sense. Visage is an extremely strong hero. And he, with Lifestealer in the lane, that's a lot of damage. No reason not to ban him. We banned the Naga Siren. Pretty obvious ban. They still could use it as support. And Naga Siren's really effective against Lifestealer. And Naga Siren Elder Titan combo is really good to set up. Plus she's got counter initiate for when Puck jumps in. So it was just a good ban. And it would be more minus armor for them, so.
10 seconds remaining.
Alright, so let's see.
5 seconds remaining.
The OD ban you don't always see first OD ban, but we pretty much always ban it out. Paco, or Care Bear Dragon, who's our captain, our drafter usually, he really just does not like that hero. He doesn't even play mid, but we just don't like the OD, so we just get him out of the game. He's just way too effective currently in the metagame at what he does, which is carrying really hard and being almost unbeatable in lane. They banned the Clockwork. I mean, makes sense. He's just a strong offlane hero. He's a good Nakes bomb hero. There's probably a little more synergistic heroes they could have banned out. But we can tell they like counterpicking with that almost instant Bane pick after they saw Lifestealer, so we're just gonna, start banning counterpick heroes. Anti-Mage is good against Lifestealer, so just get rid of the Anti-Mage. And he's really good with Elder Titan too. And Bane, actually, because Bane is the lockdown for him to get in there, so yeah, there's a lot of good. Anti-Mage would have done pretty well on their team, and it would have given them some late game. ET is great, but his late game is okay. Earth Splitter becomes more relevant in his sleep, but
Dire team
they
pick.
still could use like a late game hero. I know they only have 2 out of 5, but we picked up the Rubik. We actually have a really good Rubik player, but he's not with us this game. That's a better Mixmaster
Radiant
or
team
Quaggin.
pick.
But Rubik is just a really good support, especially with Lifestealer. I think we mainly picked him to avoid some of the magic nukes with his null field and be able to stop Bane from ulting easier with a dedicated stun. And you know, maybe we can steal Astral Spirit from Elder Titan. Maybe we can steal Fiend's Grip. Fiend's Grip is a very easy spell to steal. A lot of good spells to steal, and we just needed, you know, another good tri-laner with a stun to help Lifestealer. They picked up the Nyx, which is an interesting pick. I'm guessing that's against the Puck. I'm pretty sure it's a support Nyx, if I remember correctly, not a solo Nyx. But Nyx is a good hero against Puck, because it's very hard to avoid hitting people with your spells as Puck, actually. So Spike Carapace almost always goes off, and then Puck, you know, can't use the Essence Shift.
Dire team pick.
And he can gank the Lifestealer, you know, keep him from farming a little bit easier. And he's good with Elder Titan. I mean, all that burst magic damage when their magic resistance is reduced by 75% or 33. Wow, that's actually not nearly as OP as I thought it was. Excuse me, I'm bad. But so yeah, it's just a lot of damage for Nyx. We picked the Dazzle. Now Dazzle is kind of our signature hero. I think we were planning on sending Dazzle mid and Puck off lane at this point. Puck was almost an accidental pick on our team, but it ended up working very well this game. In fact, Puck almost kind of wins the game. Puck and Lifestealer together, that is, that combo. But they like almost win the game. But we'll see. We'll talk about that later. That's not a spoiler, by the way, for who wins or loses. You'll see what I mean. But so we pick up the Dazzle. Now, Dazzle is just kind of an awesome hero. He's very underrated. And there's obviously a million and one better heroes we could have picked, but I don't know, we like the Dazzle, we like running it. He's good with our team. He synergizes pretty well. He's very good with Lifestealer. We kind of have a jump in and try and destroy people team right now, so Dazzle works very well with that, with his burst heals and Shallow Grave. And I mean, Dazzle really shines in the start of a team fight when he can keep people alive, but then as the team fight goes on, he starts getting crazy if he stays alive. He's bombing heals all the time. He's stunning people. Again, someone else that can stop the Bane stun. And, you know, he's throwing out weaves. And when his weave stacks up that long... I need to go offline on Steam, I just realized. When his weave stacks up for that long, it's just ridiculous how much minus armor and plus armor you have. So it's the plus armor is going to really help against ET. And avoid his aura and avoid some of his damage. And the minus armor is going to help Lifesteal. They pick up the Razor mid. Or we assume it's mid because that's where Razor goes, which is a strange pick because Razor is a counter pick hero almost completely. That's just what he is. And we don't, I mean, yeah, they counter pick Lifestealer, yes, that is very true. They counter pick Lifestealer very heavily with Razor because the static link goes through Lifestealer's BKB, his rage ability, which makes him magic immune. So Razor can continue stealing Lifestealer's damage through that, and his ultimate also goes through Lifestealer's magic immunity. So, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I want to explain some pretty simplistic things because I know a lot of my friends that might watch this don't play Dota or follow it.
Templar Assassin.
But we, at the moment, before we picked that, which I'm sure surprised them, it looked like Puck was going mid, and Razor isn't really a Puck counter. Typically, you pick him to counter other mids. But yeah, enough about Razor. And that's really their only carry at this point too. We picked the Templar Assassin mid to counter Razor, which means that our Puck is offlane, which is pretty strange. Our team is very weird. We kind of did like a pseudo minus armor strat near the end, but I don't know. We just kind of picked things that we really wanted to play and ended up with a pretty wacky team. And it kind of works. You'll see. It works pretty well. Their team is pretty synergistic for the most part. They've got a really good team fighting team and a pretty good ganking team too. And their laning phase is very strong also. For bans, we banned the Ishkafel, the Darkseer, because we didn't want them to have more team fight, basically. Really, they were looking for a carry here. I think we expected them to do a Razor tri-lane, is why we banned it. An offensive Razor tri-lane, something like that. I forget why, but the Darkseer we felt pretty good about banning. We just didn't want more team fight on their side. And they banned the Bounty Hunter, which is... yeah, right, because they thought Puck was going mid before he picked TA, so we needed an offlaner. So they banned the Bounty Hunter. They didn't want to have, they didn't want us to get that gold advantage of Lifestealer, and I don't know, I guess they just don't like that here. They ended up picking a Timbersaw, so now their team's very strange, because they don't have a designated hard carry, and I believe does end up being a Razor tri-lane, with a Timbersaw mid, something like that. Timbersaw is an extremely strong hero right now. He's got a ton of spell burst damage, and almost all of his spells are pure damage. So his ult is pure, like he's got a passive skill, and then his ultimate is pure damage. One of his nukes is pure damage, and his primary nuke, when it hits trees, is pure damage. And he's got a ton of pulled regen on. So we'll go over the players. Let's open up the last hits and denies here. We'll go over the players. On the Radiant side, on the Lawds, we've got Care Bear Dragon. I may call him Paco at some point. On the Puck, going off lane. We've got Grand Theft House, who's someone that we don't often play with, if at all, but we needed someone. Who's on the Rubik, going in support in the tri-lane, with a very strange item build. You might see us talking to him. I don't know, there's probably going to be a lot of talking in the chat. But, Pink has already been reported. We've got Booty Lord, I may be calling him Steve. On the Dazzle, tri-lane support, who again we wanted to send solo, but this is kind of just what ended up happening. Farm Lord, who is me, on the Life Stealer, in the bottom tri-lane. And Disco Lord, or Armand I might call him, who is on the Templar Assassin middle. Pretty standard builds, other than on Grand Theft House, which we talked to him about that later. But other than that, as you can see, very standard builds. Now on the Dire side, they've got a defensive tri-lane top with Defiant on the hard carry Razor, the magic stick, interestingly enough. We've got Vexair on the Nyx Assassin tri-lane support. We've got Tony on the Bane tri-lane support. Very standard items all around. Scuzzy on the Timbersaw middle with a lot of pulled regen and his passive first, which is interesting. And Wizard on the Elder Titan solo off lane with, again, pretty standard item build. There's nothing wrong with that. On the courier, you see it already moving out here. This is the sentry wards going to Grand Theft House. He had 200 gold left over and didn't buy any sentries or dust or anything like that. He got some branches and just some interesting items, so we were like, please, just get sentries with the extra gold. So we got it. We've got a ward here watching this. They've got a ward here watching this. Very, very simple stuff. So now, while this is going on, I'm just going to pause just for a quick second so we can go over Game 1 now that we have a minute. So Game 1... Oh, it went away. Okay. Okay, the Dota2 network is down, guys. This is really great. So maybe we'll check it out later. I had it ready to go, the stats from Game 1, but of course the Dota2 network is down. But Game 1, they took Game 1, and the picks were something along the lines of, we had like Void and Visage, and I don't even know. It wasn't a very amazing game whatsoever. But they ended up taking it. There was one funny part near the end of the game, and the only interesting thing that happened was near the end of the game, right around here. We were on Radiant. Like I said, we played Radiant twice in a row for some reason, and they were all pushing in. And for some reason, there was like two of us here and one of them here, while the rest of them were kind of split pushing mid. And Steve on the Faceless Void threw a really bad Chronosphere around here, and then a team fight started with that. And then the team fight lasted like a minute. Like a minute later, there was still fighting going on top, and they were still pushing, and Steve ran up, Chronosphere came off cooldown, used it on like 5 heroes, and almost killed their whole team. And that was almost a big turnaround, but that was the only thing that really happened. And of course, it would have been funnier if you could have seen it. But other than that, nothing really going on too much this game. We've got some harass mid, of course, from the TA. That's what she does. Top lane, just, you know, stacking and pulling. We're stacking and pulling. Very simple tri-lane stuff going on. Last hits, TA is winning. Razor and I are tied. I am going for the Midas this game, and I believe I get it fairly around, but we're going to see. ET is doing his thing where he spams Astral Spirit because he's a ridiculous hero, and that's what he does. Care Bear Dragon seems to be doing alright, all things considered. Smart choice on the Phase Shift level 1. Now that it costs no mana, probably could have dodged that, but now that it costs no mana, it's just a very good spell to get. It's not like you're going to get any kills with Illusory Orb. Definitely not Waning Rift. So you're going to end up just living a lot easier if you get that Phase Shift level 1. And while nothing is going on, seemingly, you've got a lot of harass here from Steve hitting. I'm going to run up and try and get a few swipes in, because I've got Feast. So I'm maxing out Feast because I just feel like I'm in no danger, and I want to be able to jungle pretty early on once it, you know, to get this Midas. And I want to be able to basically 1v1 the Elder Titan, and Rage isn't going to really help that, and Open Winds isn't going to really help that. So I was just kind of maxing Feast so I could get some life. You know, I could trade a lot easier. Basically just get value out of it, spend no gold to get my regen, to get my health regen. I didn't want to be buying salves and things like that in lane. And I didn't feel like I said, I didn't feel like we were going to be going for kills. If you do feel like you know, it's potential that you could go for kills in your lane, you should max Open Winds. Or if you're in danger, max rage. Pretty simple stuff. So to talk about lifesteal, we'll just talk about some of the heroes real quick. As we see TA get a double damage, so there might be some action here. To talk about lifestealer, he's a strength carry, pretty tanky. He's very popular because he has one of his spells is Rage here, and it makes him magic immune. So there's an item that does that called the BKB, the Black King Bar, and it's very good. You build on a lot of carries, because if you're magic immune, you obviously can't be stunned and slowed and things like that. And you don't get hurt by magic nukes, things like that. So magic immunity is very strong, especially on someone who just wants to right click all the time, like Lifestealer. He's got built-in lifesteal that also drains a percent of their HP. So that lets him scale extremely well into the game and keeps him alive longer. And he's got a slow. The spell Open Wounds, he's got a slow that also makes everyone do increased lifesteal against that target. So it's just a great spell. His ultimate lets him jump inside of an ally or like a creep, and then you can pop back out and do damage and gain life. So you can like kind of hide in people. That's what the Nake spawn is. You jump in an ally, they jump in, then you pop out. Pretty simple stuff. On the other team, their carry is Razor. Now Razor's kind of an interesting hero. Typically he goes mid. He's sort of made himself pretty popular in the scene as of late. He used to be seen as a very weak hero, one of the worst, but people realize his potential for going mid against a lot of the popular mids like OD and things like that. And he does really well against them. So he's sort of just, through use of, just sort of by default, by the metagame, he's become good. Not with buffs or anything like that, but because of who else goes mid, he's become a good mid. He's just got a big AoE that spreads out and then retracts back to him. It's really hard to miss. It's a giant circle of electric death. And the farther out it is, the more damage it does. He's got a spell that you link on someone, and that goes through magic immunity, and it drains their damage. So that's obviously very good against Lifestealer, and helps him less hit in mid. And he's just got a passive that makes him move fast, and makes it so you don't want to hit him with spells, because it hurts you and slows you. And his ult is a big thunderstorm that instantly hits people and drains their armor. Or reduces their armor. And that goes through magic immunity as well. So you can see why they picked him against Lifestealer. To compare mids, like I said, Timbersaw has a lot of burst damage. He's very escapable. He's got a very low cooldown spell that lets him zip to a tree like Spider-Man. And he's very mana dependent, but his spells are extremely powerful. And because they're pure damage, or true damage for the League of Legends players, they don't go through magic immunity, but they go through magic resistance and armor, anything like that. They just do the damage that they say they do, because it's pure. He also doesn't like trees. He cuts down trees with a lot of his spells. And you'll be seeing that Spider-Man move, Timber Chain, you'll be seeing that probably a lot. We see a gank incoming middle here. We've got Smoke of Deceit used, and Nyx Assassin and Bane are moving, and he's got rank 2 Brain Stab, so Discolor's in a lot of trouble here. Luckily he is Templar Assassin. He did spot it coming. You can see a Timbersaw ultimate there, and he's going to run for this illusion, or run for this invis and get it, because he got the early phase boots. He has Nightmare. They're hitting him with a lot of AoEs. Oh, they must have Dust. No, they don't have Dust. Oh, the Sentry Ward, of course. I didn't see it. It was blocked by one of the heroes. Okay, so they placed down a Sentry Ward here, and unfortunately TA was still in range of the Sentry Ward, so that, of course, revealed the stealth, and she died. Templar Assassin, spell called Refraction. It blocks incoming damage completely for a certain number of hits, and it gives you damage. She can stealth, but she can only stand in place while stealthing, and it gives her, armor reduction and things like that when she attacks. And her passive makes her melee attacks farther range and do a little splash damage, and her ult is just this trap. These traps. She can place them around and activate them whenever she wants. So this matchup is pretty favorable for TA, because, like I said, Timbersaw is all burst damage. He doesn't have any dots or anything like that, except for his ult kind of does damage over time in the area. You can just have it out as long as you want. There's a Timber Chain missing a tree. But that big Chakram, the big spinning, whirling death thing you saw, he can just have that as long as he has the mana for it. But it's very hard for him to shred through these refraction charges without using his ultimate. When she puts that shield on, it's just going to block all of his nukes until, he leaves his ult on her for a little while. See, there's the shield now. So she feels pretty safe to just harass. There's this Astral Spirit. It's still doing damage. It's such a ridiculous spell. To explain a little bit as to why ET is considered one of the best heroes in the entire game, he's got this spell. It pretty much all comes down to this spell. It's called Astral Spirit. It just summons a man. Okay, it summons you. Summons a little Elder Titan, and you can walk him around. And it just does he just does damage when he walks through people. It only happens once, so you can't just keep following someone around and killing them. But you put it down, it does a bunch of damage, and so that's one thing that's just annoying, is that he can hit you from far away. and you can't really, even if he misses it, he can walk it into you and do the damage. So that's what I'm trying to get at. That's why it's such a frustrating spell. And then when he calls it back to himself, every unit that it hit along the way, and it hit while he was walking around doing his thing, the spirit that is, he gets damage and move speed, and it's a lot of damage for a little, like, you know, it's a buff for a short while. So when he gets that, he hits you with the spirit, brings it back, and suddenly, you know, he just runs a train on you. There it is now. And then he just does a bunch of right click when he summons it back. Yeah, you can see it's a ridiculously frustrating spell. And here's it coming back, and there's the damage. He's got an aura that reduces base armor and magic resistance, and the big thing is that it reduces base armor by 100%, which is just nuts. It's not all their armor, but it's their base armor, so it's a lot of it. And his spirit also has that, so it's just crazy. So his whole team hits a lot harder when he's in the middle of the fight. He's got a really long cast time stomp, where he and his spirit will both cast a big stomp AoE, and then it will sleep everyone around it for 5 seconds. So that's good. Good CC later in the game. And his ultimate just shoots out a giant crack in the ground that I'm sure you'll see. And after a short delay, the crack explodes, pulls everyone into it, and does a percentage damage, a lot of damage, and slows. So it's a really good teamfight spell. And it synergizes very well with his stomp, because it has a long cast time. Down here, he's got double damage coming in. He knows how much damage he can do with that staple gun. But we're going to actually turn. Someone is teleporting in. Timbersaul's teleporting in, but we're going to actually turn on this. Almost get him really low, but the teleport support was very nice on their part. It was very well coordinated, and they possibly saved his life. Probably saved his life. Because all he had was Astral Spirit. He didn't have any kind of CC or anything like that to try and survive. And he didn't even have boots. So that was pretty good on their part to come in when they did. Timbersaw is looking for a little gank action, trying to do some damage. Here's Telekinesis by Rubik, thrown down into the trees, and we're going to turn and do a little right clicks. I'm going to pop Rage and go on the Nyx Assassin. He stuns me with Spike Carapace. We have Timbersaw over here killing Rubik. He's still alive. I tried to infest and pop out of it hoping the damage would kill Nyx Assassin. But right now only Rubik has died. We see Timbersaw doing some damage. I got stunned up in the air, and now I'm dead to Timbersaw. The Timber Chain does do damage. Templar Assassin is chasing after this Nyx, but he's going to have Spike Carapace up right now, so he's pretty safe. He can pop that Spike Carapace, and she can't attack him or else she'll get stunned. Now we see Templar Assassin still running around, going to harass a little bit, doing a lot of damage as ET, who has no mana. That damage you get from Refraction is pretty nuts. 80 bonus damage until it wears off. That's just really good. And Timbersaw is going to be picking up his Arcane Boots. So Elder Titan's back in lane. He's got a bottle with an illusion rune in it, and Boots 1 now, but he has no mana. Only 6 CS to limit, which is very bad. We've been zoning him out very well. I'm just going to run up to him. I just open wounds, pop phase boots, and I'm just going to chase him down, because Lifestealer is a really fast hero. And this last hit is all I need. I need 2 attacks, 1. Nope, can't get it. I figured, you know, at any point someone could have teleported it in, so there's just no reason to dive that. I got him at a lane, and that's what matters. If he tried to come back now, you know, we could just kill him. Nyx Assassin did end up teleporting in, just to, I don't know, I guess just to watch the lane while he was gone, but at this point I'm just going to go into the jungle, because I've got my Hand of Midas delivered now. Well, actually I've had my Hand of Midas, but I'm just going to head in the jungle and start jungling, because with that maxed out Feast, I can get a huge, like, as you can see, I'm not even taking any damage from these jungle creeps, I'm just regenning everything. Up top, Puck. Sadly only 8 last hits, but hey, it's more than Elder Titan, it's more than their offlaner. And she has a magic wand. Basically, just trying to survive at this point. Not really worried about getting less hits. Just trying to get levels and stay alive. Razor went drums, so now he's really fast. And Power Chad's just using no phase speed. So Razor's a really fast hero right now. With only 1 point in his current. When he maxes that out, he's going to be flying around race car style. Bane maxing Brain Stab very... Well, he got 1 point in Feeble early, which is interesting. That spell only reduces damage. We see some teleports going in bottom. I actually missed that kill. I want to back up a little bit, actually, because... Actually, no, we're not going to back up. I missed the kill. I was actually kind of distracted by Bane's skill build, but I do remember what happened. Rubik ran in and lifted the Elder Titan and zapped him, threw him back towards us. Poison Touch, plus Open Wounds, plus Phase Boots. Just too much damage, basically. The Elder Titan couldn't do anything. All he could do was walk away and, like, spam his Spirit. He's only level 4. So... yeah, he's the same level as our tri-lane, so Elder Titan is doing very poorly in the lane right now. He is losing the lane, one might even say. But Timbersaw is going to move in. We got a lot of heroes converging. Nyx Assassin was here in stealth. He's going to attack our Rubik and not really do anything. And Bane Fiend Script me. while I'm farming. Can't get out of that. Yep, nothing we could do there. Now there's 4 heroes down here. Timber Saw with double damage. Razor's got his ultimate turned on. 5 heroes in bottom lane now. Grand Theft House sadly doesn't know what's coming because we didn't have any vision, and he gets crushed. I mean, he kind of knew it was coming. He probably shouldn't have been there, but you know what it is. So they're gonna push this tower now. This is a pretty good move from them. This is pretty much what Elder Titan needed.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, I didn't notice this when I was playing, but I think what Brown is talking about here is his Vendetta wore off like the instant he tried to attack Rubik for the bonus damage it gives you, which is 250 bonus damage. So he just ended up right-clicking him normally for, you know, like 30 damage or something. But
Dire's top tower
back in the
is
lane,
under
I'm just gonna go back to farming, trying to get my armlet. They're still roaming around our jungle looking for kills, which is pretty smart. They've got a good gank team, as I said before. We've got Booty Lord here, trying to stave them off from the creeps a little bit, throwing some heals out for the damage it deals to enemies. And Disco Lord is just going to do a little bit of rune controlling. Very easy with TA because you can put traps on the runes and get vision. Up top, Kerber Dragon is enjoying some nice CS. He's like doubled his farm basically. In the lane, got his bottle, got some boots. He's doing alright. Like I said, he just needs to stay alive and try and get some levels. He's almost the same level as Razor, so I mean that's not terrible. Could be a lot worse considering Razor just got a kill bottom. And he has 65 CS. Me and TA are leading the CS. Oh, Puck just dodged that. Is he going to die? Ethereal Jaunt should be good. Pop the drums. Razor really wants. He's diving really hard. He popped his drums for the move speed. I think maybe that was a good dodge attempt, but there's nothing really could have done there. Oh, I guess he could have turned and stunned him under tower and then silenced maybe, but all Razor had to do was auto attack them. We just saw Rubik lift someone and try and throw them down the hill, but it didn't work out. And they're just doing more team roaming. They're de-warding us, a lot of sentries. And they do have another smoke. So right now Disco Lord's trying to not die in mid, that's the goal here. I'm trying to not die in the jungle and farm, pretty close to armlet now, 500 gold away. Grand Theft House, I'm not sure what he's trying to do, he just likes lifting people and throwing them around. He doesn't have spell steal yet, which is his Rubik's ultimate that literally lets him steal a spell. And they're going in now under the tower. He runs into Vendettas. He looks like they were going to go on TA, but there's no point really. Refraction would keep her alive, and there's a free kill right here, so they just turn and kill him. Now they're 5-man pushing the middle. Care Bear Dragon is going to try and help a little bit, shooting in Illusory Orb. And I showed up to thinking that there might actually be a fight opportunity here, because I did have the Infest, so I am ready to team fight. But in the end, it was way more worth it for me to just go and farm the jungle instead of just sit here and have this Mexican standoff in the middle. Elder Titan, still only level 5, and we have an initiation here on Booty Lord. He got stunned by Nyx Assassin, and then the follow-up from the ridiculous burst damage from Timbersaw. Puck actually goes in, gets a 3-man ult, silences everyone, but it's just not enough. We just don't have the follow-up at this point. That was a good stun. I think it was actually a 4-man stun, maybe? And it was a large silence too, but we just don't have the follow-up, basically. As I said, we're just farming for late game because we're pretty sure that we have the late game assurance. Lifestealer is extremely good late game. Puck, I mean, we have a lot of late game. And any late game spells that they have, such as Earth Splitter, Fiend Script, things like that, we can steal with Rubik. So we feel pretty good about just farming right now and letting them take a few towers, doing their thing. Elder Titan has double damage, so now we really don't want to fight. He's gotten a lot of double damage this game, so pretty lucky. See a Plasma Field going out, another Illusory Orb. Going in, trying to kill ET, one auto attack away, had to phase shift. A Shallow Grave saving, and the bomb, I'm not sure who I was infested in, but I just bombed out. I'm attacking the Bane, who foolishly used his ultimate before I came out of Infest, so I was free to just run around. Now I've got a ton of armor from Weave, so I can just die people like crazy now because of all that lifesteal. Getting a lot of kills. Basically what happened there is and I got my armlet delivered in the middle of the fight too. They used a lot of spells before our carry, our lifestealer, was out of Infest, and so when I came out, because they probably didn't expect me to be in Infest, I believe I might have been in the Puck, and so when I came out of the Infest, all their stuns and things had already been used, and I was free to run around and smack people. And because I've been farming all game, my smacks are pretty scary right now. I do big right clicks, as they say. And like I said, the Fiend's Grip was already used. If the Fiend's Grip had been used on me, I'm sure that would have been a completely different fight. And I'm not just saying that because I'm playing the carry in this particular game. Okay, the stats page is up, so I'm wondering if I can find that game so I can show it to you guys later, because I know nothing happens here for the next little bit. So I'm sure this is a very interesting part of the game. You can see all my losses in public matchmaking because we troll way too much public matchmaking. But I just want to get that game up on the screen so we can talk about it, because I feel bad that game 1, like this is gonna be a best of 50, and the first game, the most important game, next to maybe the final game, is lost because the replay has expired. It was too long ago. The replay has expired. I probably shouldn't have explained that earlier. Maybe I did. So there it is. We'll talk about that later. Hopefully the service won't go down. Oh, we've actually got a pause here. So during this pause, look at this perfect timing. Okay, so our team, the Lawds, we had Elder Titan. The names are different. The names are the current names people are using, but that's not that important. We had Paco on Elder Titan, Armand on Outward Devourer, Steve on Faceless Void, I was on Visage, and we had Quag and our Mixmaster on Crystal Maiden. They had Wisp, Spirit Breaker, Razor, and Nature's Prophet Gyro, so they really like their Razor. It's a very interesting Razor build. And yeah, we basically lost, as you can see. Our Void was actually doing quite well, OD was doing not bad, and our team was fairly strong altogether. But the Razor was very fed, and Gyro seemed to have a decent amount of farm as well. So that was actually a pretty slow game, so I'm not too sad that we lost that one to time. This is one of the more interesting games we've had. There's a lot of action made, as you can tell. But we're going to speed up here and try and get through this pause at a reasonable time. And people are going to be saying very strange things in the chat, probably. This is actually a very long pause, apparently. And we're talking about how we don't know this Rubik, and now we're back. Okay. So just more wave clearing mid. There's a big Mexican standoff. They're going to smoke up and go for a smoke gank, as it were. Because we do have wards here, so that was actually a good idea to smoke there. Don't have any sentries watching the area. So they're coming around. Grand Theft House is in a lot of trouble again, but they're not going to go for him. I guess they're looking for me in the jungle right now. Nyx might have been. He's in Vendetta. His Vendetta is wearing off, so now he has no burst damage. I just infested. Oh, it was down here. I infested to get my life back. I was very low in life, I remember that. And I infested a big creep to live. And now we've got Grand Theft House, as I said, being in a scary position and getting Fiend Script to death. So, nothing we could really do there. Grand Theft House is having a hard time. We're just going to try and keep farming and doing our thing. They're roaming bottom now, I guess, to push, because I'm pretty sure they should know that we're all mid. EG's just doing a little scouting or whatever, but they're going to go try and push this bottom tower down, which has not been touched. Mid is fairly low, but we've been defending it a lot, so they don't want to push that just yet. Find some gnolls. I remember finding these gnolls hurt, and that scared the dickens out of me because I realized, oh crap, ET is near. That was definitely an astral spirit that probably hit those. Yep, definitely, probably. So we can talk a little bit about items. Let's see. We've got an urn and a drum on our team for support items, and then an armlet, and that's basically the only items on our team. And 2 people with phase boots. They've got arcanes, they've got an urn, a drum, very similar, another set of arcanes. No big items are completed yet except for armlet. See a little bit of harass going on mid. I just completed my maelstrom. And they're going on Disco Lord here. He gets out basically because of refraction. Grand Theft House sacrifices his life. Probably didn't have to Fade Bolt there while Carapace was on, but I don't blame him for Fade Bolting. He wanted to, reduce their damage and do a little DPS of his own. So I think it makes sense. But he kind of gave his life for ire there for the Templar Assassin, who I believe is supposed to be a Protoss or something in the first game. That's why she has side blades. I don't remember. But I want to look at Razor. Really doesn't have much, which is kind of surprising. I guess he's just been building these sort of tanky items.
Top tower is under attack.
Timbersaw's on his way to his Bloodstone, not too far off actually. He's building the items, and weird. Caribou Dragon's going in because we've got the Nake's Bomb here, and Fest comes out, and you can see the power of that Nake's Bomb. I'm just running around killing everyone, and they really need a Fiend Script. Fiend Script just came up, it's used on me, almost dead, but I've got a ton of armor from Weave, and the Shallow Grave comes in at the last second, letting me run around and kill people. As I said, Dazzle is just a boss. I'm gonna get the heck out of there, because I'm not trying to get turned stunned just like that by Nyx Assassin. But Disco Lord is ham, and he's gonna go for the blood. And Vixer's waiting to pop the Spike Carapace. Smart to save it. Alright. Doesn't end up going for the kill. So I got a lot of kills that fight. The Nake's Bomb proves very strong. Puck just jumps in, stuns everyone with their ult. They can't run away. Waning Rift, they're all silenced. Suddenly there's a Life Stealer popping out doing a bunch of damage, running around hitting people. It's just a good combo. I'm going to be going for the Mjolnir first. I think you've got a Blink Dagger saving up. Yeah, Discoder saving up for a Blink Dagger on TA. Very good item. Dazzle's probably just trying to get some Arcane Boots or something. And Grand Theft House again, just probably trying to get Arcane Boots. I forget who ends up building mech this game. I'm guessing Rubik is going to end up going for one. But Dazzle's getting a lot more money because he's not dying. Puck, saving up for Blink or Boots. It's been kind of a sad Puck game up until now when the Nyx mobs are finally starting to happen. And we've got some DCs and more pauses. So let's look at some graphs, I suppose, while we wait. We're going to speed up a little bit and look at some graphs. Gold graph went way up for the Radiant, over 5k in these last fights that we've been winning, and while I've been free farming. XP graph, very similar. So yeah. Oh, actually, I was looking at the XP graph. Here's the gold urn. Wow, I'm bad at Dota. So it did dip below for a little bit there, and we were getting 5-man ganked, which is sad. But now that they've been going mid a bunch, they do supposedly, seemingly have the better teamfight team. Oh yeah, this is where we didn't wait for their guy for a little bit to come back, but they also didn't wait for one of ours. We did actually have a slight AFK earlier, and they didn't wait, so we kind of just didn't wait for them because they didn't wait for us. And they also didn't have much time to play this game, so we didn't really want to pause forever because we were on a little bit of a time constraint. Now the Nyx bomb is here, going in on the Puck. We're just going to kind of wait and Puck. We don't want to make it too obvious that we're Nyx bombing by running up and going crazy. Timbersaul's in our jungle, strangely enough. Doing a little jungling there. Gets looking for some ganks, but they should know that we've just been chilling mid.
Radiant's top tower is under
Trying to dodge the spirit there. I like that play. We've got a teleporting coming and healing up. Probably going to be bombing soon. Nope, not going in on that. As you can see, Dazzle's waiting in the wings, waiting to shallow grave when I pop out and inevitably get focused down and almost die. Because that's what happens to carries who pop out of people. Grand Theft House has stolen Astral Spear, which is a great steal. Gives him a bunch of damage. Gives him range to our ass. Just a great spell. Such a great spell, as I've been talking about all game. Timbersauce getting fairly close to Bloodstone. He just needs 2 more items for the Bloodstone, because he can disassemble his boots to get one of them. I guess he's going to go get his Perseverance now or something. That would make the most sense. And we've got Nyx Assassin running in, trying to kill Booty Lord. Is he going to hit him with Vendetta? He's going to hit him, he's going to go for the kill. But he has no dig, and oh, but here's Razor and the Astral Spear coming in. So, nothing really Dazzle could do there. He could have tried to shellgrave himself, but it's hard because he was stunned for a lot of that. We decided to go up and kill top. It's probably something we should have done a long time ago, but when we saw that they were ganking bot, we were like, alright, just go for it. We just killed the top. We've got Bane here in smoke, looking to Fiend Script people. I'm leading in the last hits. Let's look at some net worth. With Razor right behind me. Oh yeah, way more. It's basically what Midas does right here. That's basically why Midas is ridiculously good. 5 and 2 on me and Timbersaw. So it's still a fairly even game, all things considered. They have more kills, but we're obviously in the lead at this point in the game. But yeah, so we caught Timbersaw way out of position. We don't know what he was doing. He was being really cocky, and we just lifted him and killed him basically. And now I'm infested inside Kerber Dragon, and we're ready to make the bombs happen. We've got Temple Assassin bombs, and here's the bomb. Popping out, right-clicking people to death. We've got TA up here murdering people. Gami down here killing Vayne. TA is running away because she got her damage stolen. We've got a Vendetta up. Nyx how greedy is he? How greedy is a Nyx? Maybe not greedy enough. We've got the chase going in. He tried to TP out. He got stunned. I'm pretty sure by Dazzle there. Yep, that was a poison touch for the stun, so good job, Steve. And Nyx is just going to get the heck out of there. Pretty wise choice, if you ask me. Now we're immediately going to go to Russia. So the net worth is shot up for us. TA is now above their carries. This game's going really well. As you can tell by the graphs, it's going very well for us. It dipped a little bit there when Steve died, but let's look at some items now. Now we've got a Blink Dagger, we've got Arcanes, we've got 2 Blink Daggers, a Mjolnir. They picked up just Phase on ET. That's basically it. They haven't really picked up anything major. You've got Tony over here trying to scout Roshan a little bit, but he's just too late. I've got the Aegis on Lifestealer. They're moving around, kind of getting in position, ready to defend, because it's wise to suspect that we're going to come push them with Aegis. ET did the Bulba build, whatever you want to call it, the 4-4 build, whatever you want to call it. It's a very good build. You don't really need a splitter this early in the game. You definitely don't need Echo Stomp. Just maxing these two can give you a ton of burst damage and auto attack damage. So burst and sustain, as it were. Just a lot of damage. Blink Dagger on TA makes perfect sense. You can blink up next to people, meld, which is her stealth, where you have to stand still, and then hit people for a lot of damage. They probably won't let you just walk up and stealth right next to them and then hit them, so Blink Dagger helps you get into position. Razor's going for BKB first. Makes sense, it's pretty good on Razor. He doesn't really need damage. Doesn't need that much damage because he steals a lot of it, and he's got a lot of magic damage in his kit, so he just kind of needs survivability items. BKB will give him that. Next Assassin's just support items, you know, doesn't have much money to spare. Bane, again, just buying wards and helpful items, not too much money to spare. Nyx Assassin would like to go for a Dagon, I'm guessing. Just do a lot of burst damage, you know, it's just an item that zaps someone for like 500 damage. So it's just a good item for someone that's, as you can tell by the Nyx play this game, he likes to roam around and ganking, insta-jib people a lot. It's kind of what that hero does. ET's just building kind of whatever he can. For moderate survivability, Urn is just a pretty good support item, gives him some mana regen. And as I've said many times, Timbersaw was trying to get that Bloodstone. We've got another Nyx bomb going in. It's a huge effectiveness. See, this time they actually get the Fiend's Grip on me, but no one is there to help. And I've already got a ton of armor from Weave. That's now going down thanks to Razor. But I'm not afraid. I'm just going to keep going. I've got Aegis. I can come back to life. No problem. Nyx Assassin is going to die over here, and I'm just going to keep running. TA is going to get the really long-range auto attack, running up there with Phase Boots, and I'm going to die to creeps, but I'll come back to full life thanks to Aegis. So even when they got a full Fiend's Grip on me, I keep saying me, it sounds very biased, but Nyx, like, this sounds super biased, but Nyx, like, Lifestealer really is the key point of this game. They let me farm, and I'm not giving any credit to myself. They let me farm, and then I just kind of ran around and right-clicked people. It was much to the help of Puck, being able to jump inside of her. That sounds kind of weird. But it's basically just because they didn't stop me from farming, and then I right-clicked people. It's nothing special. Anyone can do it. Lifestealer is just that kind of hero. If they let you farm, you can just take over a game. It's nothing special. They're finally starting to enfeeble me with Bane, reducing my attack damage. It's a very wise idea. But even, like I was saying, even when they got the full Fiend's Grip on me, they just didn't have the damage, they just couldn't kill me. I had too much armor from Weave, too much support from the Dazzle. And now my net worth is off the charts. Grand Theft House has a good attempt, but once again, the Nyx bomb is just too much. We jump in, it's already back off cooldown. I'm gonna go for whatever I can. I'm super slow right now. I'm just gonna start right-clicking people like crazy. As you can see, there's the first hit bash, or second hit bash maybe. I think first hit. I've got a basher now. Chance on hit to just stun enemies. Extremely good. Stops them from walking away from me while I'm attacking them. Tony over here is going to run for his life, but I think we know where he went. Yeah, there's the TA trap. They're calling the GGs.
Dire's bottom tower
I don't remember if this is actually when the game ends or not, but they're calling the GGs. Yeah, they killed Bane. Yep, and that's it. That's the game basically. They knew they didn't have it. They couldn't go late. ET was really far behind. Razor didn't really have any items because he wasn't, like, yeah, as they said, they were pushing when they probably should have been farming or ganking more. But, yeah, so that was the game. This is what happens when you just let Lifestealer farm. It's not me being good. It's not even them being really bad. It's just, it was just sort of a fault in strategy. They should have just not, you just can't let Lifestealer farm. It's a bad plan. But anyway, that was game 2. I'll be back with game 3 and 4, and every other game until the best of 50 is over. So sorry we couldn't get game 1, but here's the stats if you want to look at it. And yeah, here, let's be professional. Let's be professional and go look at the stats of that game we just watched, shall we? Let's be pro. Okay, here you go. If you care about GPM or anything like that, here's your stats. The names are different, but the heroes are the same. So, yeah, thanks everyone playing. Thanks the other team for being good sports for the most part, until they started trash talking. And I guess I'll see you guys in game 3 whenever I get around to recording that. Thank you and goodbye.
Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, watch my videos. Yeah, give me money.
Thanks. See ya.